Oh, hey, what's going on? Look who made it back from Indy.
Haha. What's up, Mike? How you doing, bro? Yeah, man. Didn't think we'd make it back, but I just got back about 10 minutes ago and I'm running on fumes. It was a great ass. It was an awesome time, dude.
Yeah,
First off, I'll tell you what, man, the people in Indy were really cool. Mo- 99% of the Colts fans were really nice people. They were cool to talk to. There's a lot of Eagles fans there. There was one douchebag, one douchebag. But most of the people were cool. Like we were in a bar after the game, and some dude walked up to me out of the blue. Like meanwhile, I'm minding my own business. I'm having a nice conversation with like this father and son that were Colts fans, right? We couldn't have been any cooler. Like we were just bullshitting like regular people, right?
hmm
And some douchebag comes up to me and he's like, I don't appreciate the way you cut, you in my city. And I said, oh, you don't, buddy. I said, well, let me tell you something, pal. No, if I said, I'll come to your city any effing time I want to. I said, let's set that straight. I was
always
like,
got to be one. Always
yeah,
got to be one.
I was like, it's America, pussy. I was like, I'll come to your city anytime I want. I was like, that's just how it is. All right. And then the Colts fans were like laughing. They were like, oh, you told him. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, there's always one. But
Oh, always.
but other than that, it was great.
Well, you know what, Joey? I mean, as much as we're going to dive into that Eagles game first, but first we got to dive into our basketball team.
Oh, I
Um,
know.
uh, Another one goes down. Our big three is on the shelf, man. Bad news, man. I know you were in Indy. They did get a split over the weekend. They
hmm
beat the Bucks and then lost to Minnesota, but it was pretty competitive in that Minnesota game. Um, where do they
Well,
go from here, man?
well, I was gonna say, ironically, I mean, I didn't watch it that intently, but I actually did watch Friday's game because we were at Corby's and Friday's game was on ESPN, so I actually watched a good portion of it. In fact, there was a bunch of people from Philly there, so it was like we were all chilling, and they had the Sixers game on, so I did get to see part of Friday's game. Saturday I didn't see, and as far as where they go from here, I mean, tell you what, man, I'm a little nervous because we're at the point now where if we fall behind a good amount, like we're looking at like a 7 or 8 seed and possibly a play-in game. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, like you can't. They always say, you can never win or you can't win a championship early in the season, but you can definitely lose one. And just right now, these injuries are just killing the Sixers. You got Maxey, who's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Now Embiid's out tomorrow to go along with Harden, even though Harden's close to coming back.
uh huh,
And I found it a little odd too. Tobias Harris was out Friday night. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like so. I don't know, like there was some kind of like a bug or something going around the Sixers, but uh, you know, for me, honestly, I'm been looking at the Sixers from afar because of everything. But with the Phillies going on, with the Eagles
right.
having their great start, so the Sixers have been kind of in the back, in the rear view with most people.
hmm
But the Eagles ain't going to play forever, so apparently soon enough, they're going to be full on our sights here. What can they do going forward now? Like, what can they do to go and definitely, you know, try to stay afloat really till these guys can get back healthy.
Okay, so honestly, there really isn't much they can do. I mean, basically, they have to win the games that they have to win the games that are quote unquote winnable. If you play Orlando or you play Charlotte, even with us being banged up, we might be able to possibly beat Charlotte just from some guys stepping up. But it's a shame because we got this big matchup tomorrow night against Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons coming to town. And, as much as I hate him, Ben Simmons' his last 3 games is actually playing well. I think he's averaging like 16 points, like 85% field goal percentage. So he's actually finally playing good. And I hate to say it, but I think we get smoked tomorrow night. And it's so anticlimactic because we were so looking forward to this matchup versus the Nets, and now we're out there with with like
Bunch of,
three,
yeah,
yeah, we're
our big three's out. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So you're just sitting back, you're just waiting. My partner from Sunday's checking in. Says
ah,
he goes, "What's up, homies? John, who's nipples?" I guess that must be Pat. He must be referring to himself.
well, I'll
And of
tell you.
course, Pat wouldn't be Pat without saying this.
Nothing better than nothing better than being in the back, Mike. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of nipples, bro, I was at the Notre Dame game on Saturday, and let me tell you something, man. It was colder than witches' titties out that John, and there was a lot of hard nipples, I'm sure, because
No,
it was like 15 degrees.
yeah, I wanted to ask you a question about that because I was watching the game here, and all of a sudden it was a nice sunny day in the
Yeah.
beginning, and out of nowhere a blizzard hit.
Oh,
Like
it was.
on TV, it was nuts, dude. Like you could not see the field at all. You were like, I'm like, wait a minute. It reminded me of the Fog Bowl.
Yeah, yeah.
That's I
It
was like, whoo.
it 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 was crazy, dude. I mean, we had good seats, and like I said, I mean, I dressed pretty warm. I mean, I had like thermal underwear on. I had like thermal socks. I mean, I dressed pretty warm, and I'll tell you what, man, I still was freezing my balls off. And if it was a close game, we probably would have stayed a little longer. But like, dude, like, bro, it was like 34-0 in like the beginning of the second quarter. So we looked at each other and we're like, all right, freeze our nuts off, or do you guys want to go to the bar? We're like, I think we'll go to the bar. You know what I mean? So we wound up leaving like right when the snow started coming.
Yeah, it was crazy to see on TV. It really was.
Yeah.
Because I was going back and forth between that and the Penn State game, and I was just like, wow. I'm like, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, here comes our man.
Oh, there he is. Let's bring him in.
Oh, we must hit at the same time. Sorry. Go ahead, Mike. Yo,
What up, dude?
what up? What up? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
I just got home, so I figured I'd hop on. You know what I mean? We left like mad early. We left at like 5:45, and I was gonna hop on a little later because but I was able to unpack and everything, and I figured, well, you know what? Let me get on the show, man. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to come and talk some shit.
Nice. Nice.
Yo,
How was the trip?
It was great. The only thing it was an awesome time. Notre Dame was cold as balls, but it was a lot of fun. Yesterday was great. I mean, we stole that game yesterday. I mean, we had no business winning that game, but I'll take it. A win's a win. And when you're making a Super Bowl run, dude, I mean, these are the kind of wins you gotta. These are the kind of wins that you stack up if you're trying to get that number one seed. Because the Eagles really didn't play well. I mean, Indianapolis. The Indianapolis. First, you know what though? Indianapolis defense is actually pretty good, and we didn't play that well.
Yeah,
But
they're
dude,
good. They're good.
we
Yeah,
found a way to win.
Yeah, I heard this morning, man. They said I was watching NFL Network. I was actually off today, so I had a chance to sit back and watch some of the local yokels and national yokels talk about this game. And I didn't know, but Indy's defense is ranked top 5. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and I was like, wow, okay. I was like, that's pretty cool, and just sit back and watch it. Just to watch that game unfold yesterday, like it was so weird in the NFL yesterday. If you were sitting back watching some of these games that were going on yesterday, you were just scratching your head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had, Washington looking like world beaters again yesterday, but they played the Texans. You had I thought really the funniest
Detroit
game
Lions.
and the hardest. The Lions beating the Giants. I know. Oh.
Yeah, well, that was good. That helped us. That helped us. I mean, the Lions are playing some pretty good football, and also, what's his face? I mean, how about? I hate to say it, but how about the Cowboys? I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised they beat Minnesota, but they kicked their ass.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised with that. Oh, and Pat, this is what Pat put up. This says wrestling's a work. Simmons is going to take advantage of a wounded Sixers team.
Well, he is playing well. You know what I mean? He is playing well. So,
that's our boy Wayne Miller saying thank you, Lions.
Yeah, that helped us definitely.
But I mean, Joe, getting back to your experience being out there yesterday, I didn't really want to. I wasn't going to go really into the Eagles just yet, this early into it. But I mean, we could talk the whole hour about Eagles or whatever. But if you guys want to jump in, I mean, we pretty much know what's going to go on with the Sixers. They're not really going to be doing anything really until they get their key guys back from injury. They just got to really they got to survive. They got to tread water. Really, I know Harden's close to coming back, But now with Maxey being down too, I'm hoping to see them kind of just, like you said earlier, just tread water, get to where we got to get to until your key guys get back, and then hopefully you're not too far back.
Hey, I mean, basically, you got, like I said, you got to try to win the games that are somewhat winnable. And unfortunately, with all these guys out, we're gonna take a lot. We're gonna take L's on the games that are on the games that were serious underdogs. We're gonna take L's because that's just we don't have the manpower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but getting back to, I'm going, since we're talking Sully squad and everybody's, and Diego had a powder for a second, but why don't I want to hear about your experience out there, because I've also done a road trip this year, and it was really, really cool. Did you see anybody out there? I mean, I know Johnny Barchard, our buddy Barchard, was at the game.
I didn't see any of those. I didn't see any of those guys because it was so cool. Well, my buddy Eric, he kind of wasn't feeling 100%. Like, he toughed it out, but he asked us, he's like, dude, because from the Notre Dame game, he kind of lost his voice. So he asked us, he's like, bro, he's like, look, he's like, I really don't want to be outside. He's like, can we just go to a bar or something? Because he wasn't feeling that great. So we just, instead of going and trying to find the tailgate, they have like a few bars that are right by the stadium. So we just went into a bar there and we were just hanging inside because it was, like I said, it was cold as balls. And I didn't want to break his balls, making him, he wasn't feeling that great. And I didn't want to make him have to be out there freezing his nuts off. You know what I mean? So we went in the bar.
That's cool. That's cool. Welcome back there, Diego. But
what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, going nuts trying to figure this producing thing, but hey, I'm having fun with it.
You're doing just fine, dude.
But listen, we got to talking about BG. Our friend Chris Rapisi checking in, says once again, BG came up clutch.
Yes, he did. Huge.
Big time, and he really redeemed himself from last week because last Monday night's game, with that penalty, man, I've never seen BG make a mistake like that before in 13 years. So.
Nah, he redeemed himself.
I'll tell you, who had a decent game for the Birds yesterday from watching it? I thought Quez Watkins redeemed himself too yesterday. He got open a couple times, man. He kind of bailed out Jalen Hurts a couple times there in that third quarter. Getting open, continuing the drive. So, and then he ultimately ends up catching, the first touchdown for the Birds. I thought he had a really decent game yesterday too.
What turned yesterday? I was watching the game and they showed a picture they showed him on like a Son Reddick on the screen. And I was like, we haven't heard his name a lot this year. And then he forced the fumble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He forces a fumble. I'll tell you what, the two new toys got unwrapped, didn't they?
Yeah,
Howie's two new toys.
They're strong up there. they're tough to move. Even if they're not penetrating the line the way they used to, they're hard to move off the block. So that helps the run defense alone.
Yeah, I think that's going to help them going forward. I think going forward with Joseph and Sue being in that rotation with Hargraves and Cox, and now that's going to free up Jordan Davis. Can you imagine if they put Sue, Joseph, and Sue, Joseph, Sue, Joseph, and then you put Davis in the middle? Who is stopping that? There's nobody running up that middle.
Well, yeah, and to your point, you actually could do that because you can play Sue a little bit at left end. So you could play Sue at left end, and you could go real big, especially in those rundowns. And after that first drive, Indy only averaged like 2.3 yards a rush after that first drive. Like, Indy went right down the field that first drive, and we were like, oh crap, you know what I mean? But after that, dude, those guys really, really stepped it up. You know what I mean?
Yep. So I thought one thing you could tell yesterday was we're missing Dallas Goedert. That's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough injury to overcome. This might turn into a grind these next games until we get him back. You can see our offense really does. It struggles. Dallas Goedert opens up a lot for A.J. Brown and all them guys, and then he also is like a safety blanket for Jalen Hurts, as he's been using him all year. He's been like, when he needs somebody, Dallas Goedert has been there. Not having him, I don't think Stoll and Tyree Jackson are going to be able to fill his shoes. So we're going to need more games from Jalen Hurts, like how he took over in the fourth quarter yesterday. He was like, all right, I can't throw the ball much. He just started running the ball every single play for 2 drives in a row. Got us back in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you with Jack Stoll. I'm not big on Jack Stoll. I haven't been, but Tyree Jackson, I am big on. And I think
I like Tyree Jackson.
I think he can. Like, you got to remember too, he's just coming off the injury list, so it's going to take. He's got to get his football shape in. So I'd give him about a week or so, maybe another 2 weeks or whatever. And I think he's going to be able. He can probably fit that role. And I'd like them going forward with Jackson along with Goddard. It's going to be killer.
I feel like Goddard reached the point where he took that next step in his career. Like he's like a top 3, 4 tight end right now in the league. Tyree Jackson's going to come in. Yeah, maybe he can get you 5 catches for 60, but Goddard just knows where to be on them big plays, 3rd and 11. We need a huge first down right here. He knows the offense. He's Jalen Hurts' safety blanket besides A.J. Brown. I don't think Tyree Jackson's going to be that. That's going to have to be a new connection. He's going to have to get in the rhythm with this guy, and I think they're just going to throw the ball more to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Right. Well, like you said, I mean, a win is a win. I mean, Michael Paperlick Jr. He said a win is a win. Winning game, it's tough in the NFL. Wayne Miller also said great, gritty, hard fought win. Concerned about the offense. We they really did miss Dallas Goedert. And then Chris Rapizzi, where's Cox at? He hasn't really done anything. And then
I thought Cox was pretty visible yesterday. I mean, he was playing yesterday. I mean, he was getting double teamed a lot. Because that was the first thing I wanted to look at, because they did they did one where it was him and Sue lined up next to each other, and I thought that was a hell of a. It was Josh Sweat, Sue, Cox, and then Brandon Graham, and like you could just see like the double team went right to Cox. Yesterday. I
mean, we gave up 16 points, so how bad did Fletcher Cox play?
Right, exactly. And he was.
Oh no, I got you. I mean, no, he served his role, and then
I just think people. We've seen so much of Fletcher Cox. We've seen him at like the top of his career. We've seen him like so much that everybody wants to see the same Fletcher Cox that they always have, and he's just not that player anymore.
Right. Chris Rapizzi says, but question, how many games can he use his feet and run? Soon, I guess sooner or later, teams are going to scoop that up.
Yeah, you know what though? I mean, you know what though? I mean, here's the thing, and I was really surprised at this. Did you all see the hole that when Jalen Hurts scored that winning touchdown, dude? Like you could have ran a Mack truck through that. Like us three could have went through that hole.
Watch the replay of that linebacker follows Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Jalen Hurts just reads that. He's such a good runner. He really understands how to run.
Boston Scott didn't have to crack somebody till the goal line.
No.
And even then, he like whiffed on the block. Did you see that?
He just came in like, just flipped the ball up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll tell you what, it was a gutty win, but like, haven't we been saying that all year though? Like, we want to see this team try to battle through adversity yesterday. And I'll tell you what, to me, they proved something. After hearing that they had Indy got a top 5 defense, after hearing that, and now you're showing that you can come back. And you know what? Indy's going to get better.
Yeah,
they're going to get better. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they came back and challenged Tennessee for that division. Like it could be possible, but like I said, it was just a weird day yesterday. Like watching the Giants get slapped around. The Falcons and Bears had a shootout yesterday.
I know. Yeah,
I was like, whoa! Like Justin Fields ended up getting hurt in that game, so you don't know what's going on with him. The funniest thing ever was I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter. But, Buffalo played in Detroit yesterday. They played Cleveland in Detroit. So So they play there this Thursday. They play there Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
So as they're walking out, all you hear is the Golden Girls theme, and it's the Bills, and it says, we left it just the way, or we're leaving it just the way you left it. Boom, and it says, oh, by the way, we didn't break any tables.
Yeah, that was what. Well, what was amazing. They sold like 56,000 tickets in like 2 days, bro. Like I'll tell you, Bills fans are right up there with Eagles fans as far as being crazy, dude.
Man, Bills Mafia might be a little bit more crazy than the Eagles. They be jumping off ladders through tables and they do some crazy shit out there. They're bored out there. They're bored out there. We're not as bored as them. We're crazy. We're not as bored as them motherfuckers out there.
Listen, I got paid to go through tables, dude, and I'm not doing that at a tailgate.
Yeah. Well, they just do it for no training, no nothing. This one drunk dude is like, yo, got the ladder, get the ladder.
Chris Rapizzi brings up a good point right here. He says their mascot should be fired. Or should be fined. I thought it was funny. He kept
that was funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Oh yeah, that dude is great, man. He if you ever watch it, he on TikTok, he walks around, dude, with shaving cream pies and just smacks people in the face all around the building. He does it all the time. So he's one of the funnier mascots, I believe, in sports.
Yeah, they actually said, I don't know, they actually said when we were at the game, they said that of course, everybody probably says this, but they said he's one of the top mascots in the NFL is their guy Blue, and I was just like, whatever. Everybody says that, but apparently he's a good mascot, I guess. So I thought it was funny.
How was their stadium, Joe?
Dude, it was awesome. I'll tell you, it was really cool too. Stadium was really nice, and it was so weird. It was weird as hell being in a dome, dude, because I'd never been in a dome before for a game. So it was just weird, you know what I mean? And it was loud. When it was third down, when the Eagles had big third downs, their fans brought it. It was pretty loud. And I'll tell you what, man, I think we learned a lot about Jalen Hurts this game because no Goddard. Well, the Eagles had a lot of penalties too. If you especially early in the game, if you guys remember, there were drives where the Eagles looked like they were going to move the ball, and the next thing you knew, it was 2nd and 35, and you're like,
35,
yeah, you're like, well, this.
We're on their 40. Next thing you know, we're on our 40.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was bad. The one series they got flagged 4 times in a row, and 3 of the 4 were bullshit calls.
Oh yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? So it just seemed like every time the Eagles try to get momentum going, there was a flag on the ground. And it's not me being a homer. I watch football. If the Eagles did it, I'd be like, look, they deserve to get penalized. But I'm sitting there looking the one they called was outrageous. On Lane Johnson. They called him for a hold. And all he did
I didn't think that was a hold there either.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, come on, bro.
See, I was gonna say you guys had to bend it. Being there, it was hard. It was hard it's harder for me to see if it was a good call or not because you guys get to see the replays. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard for me. I couldn't really tell, but all I knew was that it was frustrating as hell because the thing is, Indy does have a good D, but the bottom line is that we could have moved the ball. It's just you kill yourself. You get 2nd and 35. You ain't getting that 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we got to cut back on the Eagles. Got to cut back on that. They got to cut back on these turnovers though, because it is going to come back to bite you in the butt. AJ Brown fumble on that ball yesterday. Come on, dude, you got to do better than that.
I feel like. Go ahead, Mike. Finish up. My bad.
Oh, you got 3 Colts around you. Dude, just go down. Live to play another down.
You're
not gonna get through 3 guys. No matter. I don't care how swole you are. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get through 3 guys. Go ahead, Diego.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'll come back to me.
Here, let me just, if you don't mind, let me just get this up here. Wayne Miller says to his point. I don't know. He said Jeff Saturday is a smart, a proven winner, and a good motivator. I see their players going real hard for him. I kind of agree with that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's got a really good name inside that house. That's his team. Been there for a long time.
Well, talking to some Colts fans, apparently Jeff Saturday is is their version of Jason Kelce.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
He was that.
Right. So the Colts fans, the national media, was clowning the shit out of Irsay for hiring him. And And, I mean, maybe it does look kind of bad. I mean, you're hiring a guy that was on ESPN, but the Colts fans are actually kind of excited because they say that Jeff Saturday is a leader of men. Like he may not be ready for this job just yet, but he's always been a leader. He was one of the leaders in that locker room for all those years with Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like another thing. He's a head coach. That's why you got an offensive coordinator. That's why you got a defensive coordinator. If he's a leader of men, he's good at overseeing and leading the team and making the right decisions. Why not make him the coach? Why not have him coach your team?
Dude, the best thing he did was, and to be honest with you, was when Irsay hired him, he turned to Irsay and said, okay, listen, if you're going to hire me, okay, you need to let me coach this team. And he said, Irsay was like, of course. He goes, first thing I'm doing is starting Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
And that's the first. And what they did was, and he went to Matt and said, listen, you do this very well. Okay, we do this very well. This is what we're going to do. And to me, I think this is why I'm saying don't be surprised to see the Colts come back and make a push for this division. Tennessee's not running away with this division. I mean, the Colts are not that far away.
Yeah. I don't know if
Chris Rapizzi says Nick's press conference was so deep, all about Frank. You think he's going to try and bring him here? I think he will once Shane Steichen gets a head coaching position.
Yeah. That's kind of what I think, because I think Shane Steichen, especially if the Eagles make a playoff run, I think it's a real good possibility that Shane moves on, and Frank Reich would be a logical choice to bring in here, if he wants to, as the OC. So that would be a seamless transition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what, too? Like, you already know there's going to be some coaching spots opening up. You know what I mean? I think the Texans spot's going to open up. I don't think they're going to keep Lovie Smith. I think they're going to go with somebody else. You got Denver. Like, they're already tired of Nathaniel Hackett. They wanted him going after 2 games.
Yeah.
Out there. So, I mean, there's going to be some spots opening up. And I think Steichen's pretty much put his groundwork in. I'm just hoping, I'm a little biased. Like I said, I'm a defensive guy. I kind of want Gannon gone. Like, to me, I felt like he was soft yesterday. The only time he blitzed is when it was like dead necessary to blitz. Like, he's so scared to throw people in there. If you got Darius Slay, Johnson, Epps, and Slay in your secondary, bro, send the house.
Yeah,
you got.
I agree. He doesn't blitz enough.
No, not at all.
I agree with you. I agree with you guys too. But I mean, they did only give up 16 points. You know what I mean? So it's like
the defense was good. You're right.
I mean, and the one. I thought the biggest play of the game was Hassan when the Colts were in field goal range, possibly going to score and put the game away, and Hassan Reddick had that big 3rd down sack and forced the field goal, which gave them a 6-point lead. They score a touchdown there, dude. That game's over. Yeah,
and you know what? Last week we were all bitching about a face mask. Yesterday we got away with one. So
we did.
It's kind of even out. Our boy from Out of the Box Sports, Paul Spencer, checking in, says, "What's up, boys? Freezing at practice tonight. 18. Thoughts on Thanksgiving Day game, Giants versus Cowboys? Damn, Joe, you were 20 minutes away from my crib today. Paul, we're going to delight you because I do have that set up. We are going to talk about Turkey Day games with it being Thanksgiving. So, but definitely make sure you kind of tune in for that. Our boy Pep and Ord also checking in. Did we underestimate the Colts?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
If they're the 5th ranked defense, I'm sure the Eagles, maybe we didn't recognize it, but the Eagles knew they were the 5th ranked defense. Nick Sirianni knew they were the 5th ranked defense, so they didn't underestimate them. They knew what they could do.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know, Diego, with us watching from afar here, and Joe, with you being there, I got to ask this question. Okay. Did you feel at any moment in time that Miles Sanders was going to break one yesterday? Because I sure did. He looked like he got tackled by the shoestrings quite a few times.
A lot.
Like, yeah. I thought he was going to break one. I thought he was going to breek one.
I didn't think they gave him the ball enough, honestly. I would have given him a little bit more.
That's what I was going to say. Now I remember what I was going to say. I feel like Nick Steichen wants to let Jalen try to throw himself through the game. And then yesterday when they got to the 4th quarter, they're like, all right, it's not happening right now. Take over with your legs. And that's why I feel like they didn't run a lot yesterday. They knew they could win a maybe close game. They want Jalen to get as many reps possible I feel like, throwing the ball and to become the best passer he possibly can. And that's why I feel like they haven't been running it as much as last year. Because I remember last year they were having so much success running the ball. But what did we keep saying? Jalen can't throw it. Jalen can't throw it. Jalen can't throw it. So this year, now that he's 100% comfortable with the whole entire playbook, he looks like he's taking that next step. I feel like they're letting him be a quarterback. And then when they need his legs, they're letting him take over with his legs. And Jalen's also really smart when he has the run. So that's why I feel like we're not seeing the run as much. But I wouldn't be surprised. You get to the playoffs, we get into this gritty game, and Eagles just run up. Like, all right, stop Jalen and Miles Sanders for the next 3 quarters in this cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Question right here from Wayne Miller says, if Gannon goes, are we going with Vic Fangio? I believe that's why the Eagles have him as a paid assistant right now. Like, he's a paid consultant to the team. And Vic's a local guy too. So I believe that. I think Vic is going to be here in case, because they almost lost Gannon last year. The Texans, he had 2 interviews with the Texans. So, I mean, I could definitely see him moving on too, especially if this Eagles defense starts playing well now. But what do you guys think? You guys, I mean, I like Fangio. He's kind of on the same line as Gannon, but he attacks.
I agree. I mean, he did a great job that year. The year we beat the Bears in the double doink. I mean, Fangio was their DC, and they had a hell of a defense.
Yeah.
He always has a good scheme. I agree, and you know, a lot of people in Philly, I mean, criticize Jonathan Gannon, but around the league, Jonathan Gannon has a very good reputation. So it would not shock me if Jonathan Gannon, like you said, may possibly get a head coaching gig. And if that's the case, we may lose him and Stuyton, and we could be looking at Frank Reich and Fangio as our DC and OC next year. And hey, I'll tell you what, if we're going to lose,
take that.
I was going to say, if we're going to lose 2 young and upcoming guys, we certainly could do a lot worse than having 2 former NFL coaches.
Especially a guy who was your offensive coordinator when you won your first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of cool. Chris Papisi says, one more question. Why doesn't Hurts change the play at the line if he sees something different?
I think
that could be just coaching. I think it could be coaching. Like, no, you don't really see him call too many. You know, he may not have that, what they call, permission yet to do so. Like, you got to kind of earn it a little bit, even though he is the starter. You know, I don't think he's really I think he does when he has to, but you don't really see him change it too much. I think they believe that he believes what they're going to run, they can get on the defense.
I just think it's that kind of, it's like, if we're calling a pass play, pass it. If we're calling a run play, run it. It's that kind of offense. You know what I mean? Like, our offensive linemen are great offensive linemen. We're running the ball. I feel like Jalen Hurts is such a threat that we do the run pass option a lot too. You know what I mean? So,
all right. This is from Mike Moranin. This says, my fucking guys, how you feeling on tonight's game?
Tonight's game's what, the 49ers and the Cardinals. I'll tell you what.
Mexico City.
Out of all the teams in the NFC, 49ers might scare me the most. I think 49ers are battle tested. They went out and got they got McCaffrey. That kid Ayuk is playing well. You look at the 49ers weapons. I mean, Garoppolo is a game manager, so Garoppolo's never going to kill you with his arm, but he's got a lot of weapons, bro. Like, you got Samuel, Kittle, Ayuk, and now you got Christian McCaffrey too. With that defense, 49ers are a force to be reckoned with. I love the 49ers tonight.
Well, Kyler Murray's game time decision.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals. I don't think that coach for the Cardinals is too long for this world. I think the Cardinals.
That could be another opening.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see the Cardinals. You know, the what do you call it? The shine is going off of him. You know what I mean? Because Cardinals look mediocre at best.
Yeah, they do, man. And to me, it's just, you know, like I said, I put this up here as our thing. I said Eagles win ugly, you know, as our topic. But you know, they really do. Like, they really have won ugly yesterday. And I'll tell you what, Mike here says, agree. A lot of Cardinals players are out, but you know what? Colt McCoy's a gunslinger, man, and he does got a weapon over there. And Hollywood Brown's back for them tonight too.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown's back.
So I mean, and I think I don't know if I think Connor's back too, the running back.
Connor was back last week, but DeAndre Hopkins was questionable with a hamstring injury. But he did practice limitedly Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, and they're playing in that shit stadium in Mexico City, so that's another thing too. Like, you got to watch out for. Like I always get worried about that. Like if you remember, was it the Chiefs? Was it the Chiefs and the Rams played that crazy shootout game down there a couple of years ago?
Oh, that's right. That was a great game. That was one of the best. You're right. I think that was
it was like 54-51 was the final of that game or something. It was nuts.
Yeah, I think it was 2018. Yeah, because a lot of people were saying it was a Super Bowl preview, and it almost was, because if New England didn't beat Kansas City that year, it would have been a Super Bowl preview. Yeah, that was a great game.
But that field, if you remember how slick it was, and how they were tearing that field. Dude, by the fourth quarter, dude, it looked like somebody drove a tractor down the sides of it, in between the hashes, dude. I was like, oh. But yeah, that's my only concern. I'm kind of glad that the Eagles aren't one of these teams that have to go to these exotic destinations and play. Like I know we had to do the London game because everybody's got to do a London game, but like I'm so glad like they're not picked to go to like Berlin or down to Mexico City, because they're soccer stadiums, and there's a big difference between soccer and football when it comes to the turf.
Yeah,
we will be out there though. We'll get our turn down the line, just like everybody else does.
Yeah, I would like to see the Eagles play in the first, what is it, Bahama Bowl? Yeah, I would go to that.
But,
yeah. Let's see here. What did Mike put up here? Mike says, the only thing that gets me is the Cardinals 28th in the league on D, and the Niners, I feel like, capitalize on that. Yeah, I mean, they will. But my whole thing with the 49ers is how long does Christian McCaffrey stay healthy? Well, I mean, they traded Jeff Wilson Jr., which was a solid backup, for, the backs that they have there.
Elijah Mitchell's not bad, though.
No, he's not. He's not. But if you take away him, like, really, it puts a lot of pressure now on Samuels. They're right back to where they were a year ago. And I just feel like with the Niners, getting McCaffrey has that track record. He's never healthy. He could be healthy for 6 to 8 weeks, and then he's on the shelf.
See, I think if McCaffrey can stay healthy, and Deebo Samuel hasn't had a great year, Kittle hasn't really gone off yet. Like if Jimmy Garoppolo can find a way to get all these guys involved, and they can click at the same time with that defense, that's gonna be a really tough out in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's my thinking. They might be the toughest out.
They might be the team to beat if they can stay healthy. Because they haven't even got all them guys going yet, and we all know how good they are. Like Deebo Samuel last year was unbelievable. George Kittle can be unbelievable when they want to target him. I just feel like they haven't even targeted him, because I have him in fantasy, and I'll be like, it's like 4-3, no targets. So when they find a way to get all these guys involved, if they find a way to get all these guys involved on offense, they could be practically unstoppable. And I feel like the only guy that holds them back is Jimmy G, because I don't feel like Jimmy G is that great.
Nah, that's what I'm saying the same thing. Like I think all of us are in agreement there. Question, guys, with Dallas's dismantling of the Minnesota Vikings yesterday, do you guys consider the Dallas Cowboys right? I would say, I guess. Would you consider them besides San Francisco? You got to put San Francisco up
Cowboys there. Are legit.
Yeah, my opinion, 3 top teams in the NFC are Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, and you got to put the Vikings up there because of their record, but I think the Vikings are the 4th best team. I think
the Vikings got beat by 2 of them. You know what I mean? Right. The Vikings lost to the Eagles and lost to Dallas. So
right. But that's what I'm saying, though. But I mean, I think legitimately, I think it's Philadelphia, Dallas, San Francisco. I think I would be shocked if it's not one of those 3 teams in the Super Bowl.
Me too.
In my opinion.
No, the big football fan in me is like, we're all Eagles fans, and all we've had to hear about for the last 3 years is how this team is the NFC least. Okay. Oh, you guys don't play nobody. You guys don't do this. You guys don't do that. Now, Washington. If San Francisco should lose tonight, the Washington Redskins are now in that final playoff spot, which means all 4 teams from this division will be in the playoffs if it were to start today.
They're a good football team. Washington is not a bit. Washington's pretty good. The only thing they're missing is, I mean, that kid Heineke battles. I mean, if they were better, if Washington was better at the quarterback position, Washington would be a Super Bowl contender. Washington's a good football team.
Taylor Heineke battles, but he sucks too.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like, he's just not gifted. He's tough. He's gritty. He makes plays, but he's not good enough.
Dude, they need to go to a lab and put, like, they got to
switch Carson Wentz talent with Tyler Heineke's heart, and then you got a real quarterback.
And you got a real quarterback. You can call him, you can call him Carson Heineke. But I'll tell you, here's my boy Joey Woods checking in from out of the box. He says Washington scares me. They're getting healthy. Yeah, they get Chase Young back next week.
I agree. I
we
agree.
ain't got to play him no more, so I'm happy. Turtles.
I mean, well, I was gonna say they scare me, but they don't scare me because the quarterback factor. If you know what's ironic, if they did not get, can you like honestly, if they didn't get rid of Kirk Cousins, I think they would have they would be really contenders. You know what I mean?
They would. They would, because if Minnesota's contenders, like you said, they're the fourth best team. I think if you just switch quarterbacks, they're in the same position. They got a star receiver in Terry McLaurin. They got two really good running backs. You know what I mean? Like, they have a good formula to win and a great defense.
Tell you what,
Chase Young isn't even back yet.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they're going to be scary, especially when Dotson gets healthier.
Oh, Dotson too.
I agree.
Really
I was so mad when he went right before, like 2 picks before the Eagles were going to draft, and I was so hoping they were going to grab him because I watched him play at Penn State. Pat Bernard put up there, said, I told you that yesterday, Mike, that the Cowboys are for real. Yeah, Pat, you did. I mean, of course, Pat likes to hop on anything that, if it's a Cowboy, as you can see here in this next comment.
My comparison, Dotson, when him coming out of college, I had his comparison compared to Stephon Diggs. Like, I think Dox is a stud.
I agree. And as far as Pat goes, hey Pat, even a broken clock's right twice a day, bro.
Yeah, and I don't know about this here, Joey. I love you, buddy, but I don't think they have the best coach in the division.
Who?
Washington.
No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Rivera's a good
he's
coach.
A good coach.
But I
think Daboll's the best coach in the division.
Well, I mean, what about Orga? I think Orguy's doing a hell of a job.
Nick's a great coach too. I'm just saying, in the long run, I feel like Daboll is probably going to be the best coach.
Yeah,
he may. I mean, but I'm not ready to pass the mantle on to him yet either.
Anybody who can get Daniel Jones to win games and be competitive is good, because Daniel Jones is atrocious. He's terrible. Remember, he's terrible. He's still terrible, and I don't care that he's 8-3 or whatever. He's garbage. Nothing has changed. Just his coach is a smart enough guy to put him in position to win games.
Yeah. Mike Moranin says the Cowgirls. But I think, if you're looking at our division right now, though, you would have to say Sirianni's probably the best coach in the division. I don't trust McCarthy. He's a moron.
You know what's funny? McCarthy is the worst. He's the worst.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
He's the worst coach in the division.
Listen, if you give Ron Rivera that Cowboys roster,
he might win a Super Bowl. I agree.
You know what, though? The Cowboys got great coordinators. What's that? Gus Bradley's their defensive coordinator?
It's Dan.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. And they're
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. They got two really good coordinators. Like, Kellen Moore's got a great offense.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Kellen Moore. I'll give you Quinn. Quinn's
I like Kellen. Kellen
Moore.
Listen,
Quinn is a good DC.
Yeah,
he spreads the field.
Awesome. Yeah, but you know what?
He throws the ball. Dak Prescott's just not that good, but their offense is explosive. When it's going off, it's a great offense.
Yeah, when it's clicking. I mean, I don't know. Pat says Nick is the best coach in the division. Pat got his homer glasses on again. But looking back at this now, we're going to speak into this now since we're going to move forward. Guys, next week, Green Bay, just give me your early thoughts on it. What are you guys feeling about the Green Bay game?
I think Green Bay stinks, bro. I mean,
They suck.
I mean, I was watching that on my phone when we were driving out to Notre Dame on Thursday night, and I was watching some of that game, and man, they just Aaron Rodgers don't look like the same. I know he doesn't have a lot of weapons, although that kid Watson's coming on a little bit, but Aaron Rodgers does not look like the same dude to me, man. I don't, it's a little, he looks like a different guy. I don't know. I'm not gonna say he's like Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson looks like he's cooked. Aaron Rodgers is better than that, but Aaron Rodgers ain't the same dude he was last year. That's for sure.
Well, I think Green Bay just messed up when they let Devontae Adams go.
I agree.
That's a different offense with Devontae Adams. I wouldn't say Aaron Rodgers at the prime of his game, because he's not. But if he had Devontae Adams, it'd be a different story. His weapons suck. Besides his Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey Woods here brings up a good point. I saw this today. Did you guys see the report? Rodgers for Carr in the offseason. Talking about trading him over there.
I wouldn't do that. I'm still keeping Rodgers. I'm not trading him for Derek Carr. Derek Carr's a scrub, if you ask me, too.
I don't think you could say he's a scrub, but I mean, but he's definitely not. I wouldn't do that either.
Before the season, I thought Derek Carr's all right, but every year the Raiders just continue to lose. They continue to stink.
Yeah, but there's something there's a disconnect in that locker room. If you watch Derek Carr last week,
they've changed coaches, they've gotten receivers, and the only common denominator of every single year is Derek Carr's their quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but but last year Derek Carr got him in the playoffs, and they had an interim coach. Honestly, dude, I just don't think Josh McDaniel's a good coach. I think Josh McDaniels sucks.
I think in this league, you got to keep searching for quarterbacks until you find a caliber of player like Josh Allen or Herbert or Mahomes, because they're going to be around for a long time. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts looks like he's taking that step into that conversation. He continues to grow a little more. Carr's not going to cut it. Cousins ain't going to cut it. You know what I mean? These 14, 15, 16 best quarterbacks, that's not going to cut it. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, it doesn't look like they're going to reach that potential. So Derek Carr, the Raiders have to move on from Derek Carr. He's not that good.
Okay. Pat, listen, I was just joking with you about the Homer comment, dude. We all believe that Nick's probably the better coach of the division right now. Getting over here to what Wayne said, just remember it's Aaron Rodgers, and we are everyone's Super Bowl now. Primetime game. Hope we're ready. I think they're going to be ready.
Yeah, Wayne does have a point, though, because Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I'm sitting here kind of shitting on him a little bit, but let's keep it real. Aaron Rodgers is always capable of having that great game. So, I mean, it's I'm not going to say it's a shoe-in, definite win. I mean, you're right. I mean, the Green Bay is good enough to come here and beat us. I just don't think they're going to. There's something missing with Green Bay this year.
Yeah, if you look at their defense, man, too, they just lost two of their top players. I mean, the only one that's really still playing for them on the defensive side is Alexander, the cornerback, and he's having a pretty rough year.
I would say he got mossed. Traylon Burks gave him the "you're too little" at the end.
Yeah, he did. And I'll tell you what, the week before that, CeeDee Lamb was eating him up.
Stephon Diggs ate him up too.
Yeah, like he
was. He hasn't been having a great year. You're right. Yeah, I always think he's really good, but they've been going at him every game.
Yeah. And you know what? And I wanted the Eagles to try to make a trade for him, because you watched him in last season. That dude was he was
unreal.
He was unreal, Jair Alexander. So I was like, dude, but to watch him now, I don't know, man, maybe his heart's not into it. It seems like that Green Bay team, there's certain players, if you've been there, it just seems like they know that their time there is coming to an end. And I don't know if they're getting sad about it or they can't wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
One of the two things, man. Joey bringing up another point right here. We have to stop Dillon and Jones.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got to say that, to me, I don't see them coming here trying to run the ball down the Eagles' throat. they're like Aaron Rodgers has got to throw the ball. He's got to throw. He's not going to be one of these quarterbacks that's only going to take 15 to 20 attempts.
Right.
There's just no way. Unless the only way he's doing that, and that's if Dylan and Jones are getting 8 to 10 yards a pop running the ball, which I don't see that happening now.
No, not after not after getting Sue and the kid and Joseph or whatever. Yeah.
So guys, listen, with this last 10 minutes, we're going to bring up the Thanksgiving Day games. It's Buffalo, Detroit, Giants, Dallas, and then our nightcap is Minnesota and New England. So let's break down these games real quick, man. We're going to start with the early games. Let's start with Buffalo and Detroit.
Tell you, I think on paper, I think everybody and their mother's going to think that Buffalo smokes them, and I don't see that at all. I see the Lions are playing great football. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a really good game. I think Buffalo pulls it out ultimately, just because Josh Allen will find a way to make a play or two. But I think that game's, if I'm a Bills fan, I think that game is a sweat because Detroit is playing some really good football.
Yeah, I agree.
Just to get right back.
Go ahead.
Just right here, Wayne Miller says, "Do we see some Trey Sermon now? It's time for him. It's time to get him ready for some of the playoffs. Need help with the pass route since Goddard's out." I agree with this 10,000%. He should have been activated 2 weeks ago and been ready to play. I'm waiting, dude. I will have my number 34 jersey on with this dude because he's a beast. I don't know why they're not using him. Like, I know
Mike, he sounds like he's Mike.
Carson Strong. Go ahead.
I want to hear it. Come on, he sounds like Carson Strong because he keeps getting left off the teams, and I don't know what it is. Dude, I have no idea.
No, listen, he's got 2 carries on. He's got 2 carries on the season. And they're both for 9 yards a pop.
They were. No. You know what? He did look good on them carries, but he must just not do something good or something.
He pissed somebody off, man. Everybody. He can't even get on the field, dude. Like, I'm like, damn, dude. Like, why did you trade for this guy?
Yeah, what did he rap? What did he rap to somebody's girl or something?
Yeah,
what the hell's going on? Yeah, he did something, man.
He gave somebody a mushroom top or something because he can't see the field.
Yeah.
I'm scratching my head.
He D'Angelo Russelled somebody.
Yeah.
He D'Angelo Russelled somebody in the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Maybe he snitched. You know what I'm saying? Hey, who knows, man?
Joey Wood says the NFL gave us 2 stinkers and 1 good game. We need a divisional game on Thanksgiving.
I think all 3 games are good this year.
Yeah, so do
I. To be honest with you, I'm looking forward to all 3. Honestly,
I'll tell you what. I love watching the Lions on Thanksgiving. I don't know what it is.
I do too.
They always seem to play. Do they not?
That's their day. I feel like Thanksgiving Day without the Detroit Lions isn't a Thanksgiving football.
No,
right? Exactly.
That's their day. And they're like Joe said, they're playing good football. I could see them being in that game against Buffalo and making Buffalo sweat it out.
Yeah, and guess who's going to be the honorary captain? Robert Porcher, Mr. 5 sacks on Thanksgiving Day. He made a career on Thanksgiving Day. He
did. You're right.
He played 3 years, right, with the Lions, left the Lions, right, came back. The dude's got like 9.5 sacks on Thanksgiving Day. 1 game, he had 5 of them. So in like 4 career games, he's got like 9 sacks. So I love it. I think the Lions. I like the Lions. I mean, of course, the Cowboys are always on too. So we're always rooting for them to shit the bed.
Right.
But and you know what? And you got to pull for the Giants this week too.
Definitely
I
because
Cowboys Giants are the second game.
Yeah.
That's a 4:30 game.
I think I kind of feel like the Cowboys win that.
I
do. All right, ready. Who do we root for here? What's their record? 8-3 and 7-3.
I think you got to root for the Giants. I believe in Dallas a lot more than I believe in the Giants. And
would a tie be better? Let's root for. Should we root for a tie?
Let's just root for them both to lose.
Both lose.
Root for the tie.
But if a tie helps us more, we'll take a tie.
Nah, you know what though? Honestly, I think the way that the Giants lost that game at home, they're kind of like how the Eagles were You know, they were itching to get out there. They're itching to get out and lose and not get that taste knocked out.
Do you think do you think the Giants are that good, or do you think they got lucky in some of these games? You know what I mean? I feel they've been getting a little bit lucky.
Yeah, but you know what? They've also beaten some really good teams too. Like you forget they went to Tennessee and beat they beat the Titans in Tennessee.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good win. That's a good win.
That's a good statement win for them. To be honest with you, I don't think that. Me personally, I think the Giants are not that far away from where the Eagles and Cowboys are. And I think the Eagles have overtaken the Cowboys for the best in the division, and it's. I don't care what anybody says. We've already played head to head, and I'm sorry, our coordinators took a nap in the third quarter of that game. If they coached the third quarter in that game's a blowout. It was 20-6. They weren't running the ball. I don't want to hear.
Well, Lane Johnson getting hurt changed that game.
As soon as Lane Johnson got hurt and Jonathan Gannon took a nap, they had to go send him coffee for the fourth quarter in that game.
We got to remember that they didn't have Dak Prescott. They were playing with Cooper Rush.
And Cooper Rush was 4-0. I'm not trying to hear that. We won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback.
He was 4-0. Was he? He was undefeated. He's Cooper Rush. Their defense was beast. They were getting him through a lot of games. Cooper Rush was doing nothing special. Dak Prescott's not Cooper Rush. Dak Prescott can hurt you.
He can, but he can also help you.
He can. You're right.
Wayne Miller said, "Did Henry play when the Giants beat the Titans?" Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. It was week 1.
No, was it week 1?
Yeah, it was week 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I think the Giants held them pretty much in check that week too. With the Giants being said, with them guys, they do have their best cornerback is out for this game. So, but Barkley's got to run the ball. But so you guys are going with the Cowboys in this game?
Yeah, I don't see the Cowboys losing on at home. I think the Cowboys make a statement and not necessarily. I mean, it might be a tight game because I don't see it necessarily a blowout. But I think the Cowboys win it, and I think you kind of know they're going to win it in the fourth quarter. I don't think it's going to be like a nail biter.
I think the Giants win in a shocker. I do. I think they upset the Cowboys. Cowboys have lost the last 4 straight on Thanksgiving at home. So they have.
That makes me like the Cowboys even more.
Nah, man. Listen.
The more you lose, the more chance you get to pull one out. I like the Cowboys on Thanksgiving though.
Okay. I mean, but
I hate them both. So I hope they both.
So do I. But
I hope the lights shut off. They can't even play the game forever. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is that the way Dallas won yesterday convincingly in Minnesota, when you have everything go right, usually the next game you play, you have everything go the opposite way.
Yeah, especially for the Cowboys. The Cowboys always find a way to fuck it up.
Right, exactly.
That's
so this
true.
is why I'm saying the Giants. I think the Giants win in the squeaker. I think they go with last-minute field goal. And, of course, the nightcap is Minnesota against New England. Bill Belichick's got to go up the mini and go play now the 8-2 Vikes.
I'm going to have to go Minnesota in that game, but New England can find a way to keep any game close. So that's a toss-up to me, really. If I had to pick, I'd pick Minnesota.
You know what's funny? I don't know why. I have a feeling New England's going to go there and beat them. I actually like New England in this game. I feel like Belichick. I feel like Belichick is going to find a way to limit Justin Jefferson because Belichick a lot of times finds a way to take the other team's best weapon out of the game.
Does.
And I feel like at New England, and the thing about the Vikings is the Vikings have this great record, but the Vikings have barely won a lot of these games. A lot of these games they barely. I mean, they should have lost to Washington a few weeks ago.
They should have lost to Buffalo, no?
Yeah, definitely. Justin Jefferson made it. It was like 4th and 18. He made an unbelievable catch.
Oh yeah,
alive. You know what I'm saying?
They should have lost to Buffalo.
Yeah, they should have lost to Buffalo. Should have lost to the Redskins, or I'm sorry, the Commanders. Paul Spencer checking in. He says 31-19 Giants.
See, I'm
31-19 Cowboys. I'm sorry.
I agree with that score.
I'm kind of in agreement with Paul. I think it's that type of game, not necessarily a blowout, but it kind of like where like Paul is a Cowboys fan, he's not really sweating. Like he's on his second plate of turkey. He's he's sipping.
Yeah. He's like
and he's chilling. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the Giants are going to make Paul have the turkey farts because
Ah,
I'm telling you, I'm taking Giants 23-20. The nightcap, Joe, I agree with you. I think New England's going to go in there. That defense is for real. Yes, they could probably get better play from Mac Jones, but I think you're right. I think Belichick is going to take away everything that Minnesota does, and we're getting primetime Kirk Cousins.
yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah,
That is true.
Like, Kurt may end up giving them 10 to 15 points himself.
Let's
just
go
by
New
turning
England.
the ball over. So I think New England's going. I like that. But guys, listen. Before we go, I got to go and we got to pay some sponsors here. So let me find the sponsors here. Oh, yeah, there they are. All right, they're not popping. There we go. Guys, make sure if you get into anything where you need an attorney, make sure you check out our guy, David Archerry. It's 610-565-0300 for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law. And if you're willing to go take a trip, the next trip that we have coming up for Philly Sports Trips will be the Giants. It's already sold out, so unfortunately you can't make it to that one. Chicago could be a good destination. Also Dallas for Christmas Eve. And if you want to, just this week, let's just say you want to go down and catch the tailgate before the Packers game. You can go down to the Gatehouse at the Navy Yard. They have great tailgates. And I myself was a part of the Washington one. You guys, it will definitely be there. And guys, this is our lineup for the week, as you can see right here. As you can see, coming up tonight, Flyers post game with Matty B. Party on Broad also. And just take the time, check out our great shows here up on Ezra Philly Sports. So with that being said, guys, Joe, it was really fun stepping in for you tonight, man. I'm glad you made it back from India Live. Diego, thank you again.
Thanks,
guys,
Mike.
for
We
having
appreciate
me.
it.
Man,
we appreciate you doing it.
Listen, I'm digging this whole producing thing. It's pretty kind of funny. But I'm sorry. Oh, right here. Live tomorrow night, Big Blue Power Hour and the 215 boys get together. This should be good. So yeah, guys, make sure you get over there to Out of the Box for that one.
Yeah, and check me and Mike out on Wednesday night. All you college football fans out there, Out of the Box Network, we're going to be breaking down the crazy weekend of college football. Yeah, and we'll be on at 8. So I know the night before Thanksgiving's a big night to go out, but it'll be over by 9, so you got plenty of time to roll out afterwards.
You can come spend time with me, Sully, Sean Killer Kilrain, and the Asian Persuasion, Paul Spencer. Come spend an hour with us. After that, I'm going to be drinking. So
I got one more for you. Philadelphia sports fans, the old school is going to be here on Friday night at 7:00. And we're doing it's going to be a funny show and very interactive. We're doing the all-time biggest douchebags in Philadelphia sports history. All right. And we got one big, huge douchebag coming to town tomorrow night in Ben Simmons. So to play off Ben Simmons' bitch ass coming to town, check out the all-time douchebags tonight, Friday night at 7. Check us out right here, Edge of Philly Sports. Check us out, and and we'll be voting on it, and we'll bring back some unpleasant memories, I would say. So,
nice. All right, guys, it's been fun. You can check me out again Sunday morning, along with my man Pat Bernard at P&M in the AM. We'll be breaking everything down as the Thanksgiving Day games go on, leading up into NFL Sunday. Guys, it's been great, but it's time to go.
Yeah. Thanks, dog.
Thank you.
Peace, guys.
Thank you. Have a good week.